Today, we're going to the wedding. I think this will fit.
There's only one thing that we love more than eating food with chopsticks, and that's photography.
There's no way you're going to get me to put that dress on. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah, you look pretty good in it.
So, last week we talked about preparing for the wedding, how we prepare, some things that you need to think about. This week, you get to go along with us at the real wedding.
Take a ride on the wild side.
That's right.
But we'll even throw a few tips and tricks in along the way. Why don't you go ahead and join us as we take our trip to the Napa Valley.
Let's go.
All right, it is wedding day today, and I'm on my drive to the wedding location in the Napa Valley. But one of the things that I wanted to start out with today was just on my drive is to remind you to plan ahead for things like traffic. Right now I'm stuck in just this massive traffic jam, but luckily I plan to leave, even an hour earlier than I probably should have, just because I want to make sure that there is no chance being late for this event. So that's what I want to start out the day with, is just to tell you, make sure you plan ahead. That make sure you plan for traffic, for any kind of issues that might come up, but it is way better to be safe than sorry. So we'll catch up with you in a little bit as we get closer to the wedding time, and we'll show you some other stuff we're doing.
I ain't feeling lonely, and I wanna admit it's time to end the ride.
So we're here in the beautiful Napa Valley. We're getting ready to go inside and get pictures of the bride. We've been filming them already, getting their makeup and their hair done. So now it's time. They want to get a group shot together, and then we're going to get why they're getting their dresses on. So let's go on inside and let's take a look.
See you for a moment, even hope that I can feel you. See you.
So we're just about ready. We just got done doing all of our preliminary shots. We're getting ready to shoot the ceremony right now. Here's one of the important things to think about when you're shooting a ceremony is placement of the photographers. A lot of people stick somebody in the back of the church. My preference is to stick somebody way, way in the back where they can capture those good moments where, dad and daughter are having those last few minutes to talk together. They're getting things adjusted at the last minute. And then having the other shooter at the front of the aisle so they can get everyone coming down the aisle. Because if you get somebody just in the back of the church or the back of the area where you're getting married, you're just going to get shots of them coming right up to you down the aisle. Yep. You can get those when it's all over with, when they start coming back out.
Yeah, and the biggest thing while you're actually shooting the wedding is making sure that you are always watching the photographer. You want to be exactly opposite of where they are. So if they're on one side, you're on the other. If they're in the front, you're in the back. And you're just constantly moving around, making sure that you're not in their frame, they're not in your frame, but just always be in the same place. If you're ever in the same place together, that is no good.
Yeah, yeah. So let's go out there and let's see it.
You look at me, I'm soaring, seeing all the truth behind your eyes. See you for a moment, even.
Okay, so the guests are starting to arrive. It's just about ready to start the ceremony itself. So we're all set up. We both are ready to go with our cameras, and it'll be really good. So what's going to happen is I'm going to sit at the top of the aisle, and I'm going to get everybody as they come down. Steve's going to stay in the back. I like to have the second shooter always kind of staying around the back, getting, those last moments of dad and the bride before they walk down the aisle. A lot of times I've seen where everybody stands in the back of the church or the back of the wedding. Get over there.
Now I'm finally right here with you.
All right, so we're done with the ceremony, and now we're on to shooting the family pictures, which is absolutely one of the hardest things to do during a wedding. You've got the family trying to round them up and corral them up. It's always great. This is where you want to have an assistant with you at all times to help you make sure that you can corral those people, because you never want to forget somebody. But this is what we're about to do. We're about to take all these wonderful pictures in this backdrop, but I got to tell you, it's the hardest part of the wedding. So just keep your calm, keep your cool, get it done as fast as you can, and then you're on.
And one, here we go, ready? 1, 2, 3. Good, we're gonna do it a couple times.
So our bride and groom, they didn't want to do pictures ahead of time. They didn't want to do a reveal. She wanted to be seen.
Which is a photographer's nightmare.
It is. She wanted to be seen coming down the aisle for the first time. Yep. So we had to do all these pictures after the fact. Right now, the reception's going on. We just sent them back.
We just did.
Yeah.
So we're standing here in a wine cave.
Yeah.
So this is kind of your tip for this little segment, is that find the cool places, right? I mean, just no matter where you're shooting, there's always something that's cool that gives texture, something interesting. But these pictures that we just took, you know, we backlit them. We did some really cool stuff.
And here's the other thing is, you know, we've been doing weddings for a long time, but even with this wedding, first thing Steve said to me was, let's not be lazy today. This is my favorite tip. If you look back at the pictures, we're going to show some pictures. You might have already seen some. We backlit all these shots, which meant we had to carry 2 lights everywhere we went. It was so easy to go, let's just leave one, and the light looks so great from the front.
Let's not worry about a softbox.
Yeah, the difference is that backlight. Yeah. It's just the difference between snapshot and art. And today I think we created some art.
Yeah, and it's totally hard to do though if you don't have an assistant or a second shooter. So I got to tell you, and I'm going to pound this in your head. Shoot with a second shooter. I don't care what it costs. Do it and have an assistant with you. It makes your life a lot easier. But so far, awesome day. I've loved every minute of it. And
we got lights to set up because we're shooting a reception. We got some dancing and some food to eat.
And Mark's going to be dancing. So all right,
let's do it.
Fortunate questions.
All right, today is my turn for the handoff. Let's see if we can do it.
If we can
I think we got it.
Simple. Look at that. Look how good we're getting. So,
all right, what do we got?
We have a fortune cookie. No. We have a question, and this is from Francis from Portland. I wonder what she's going to ask us.
Are you sure it's a she?
I know it is
Francis a he.
Portlandia. So,
you never know. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
That's right. Well, this says...
What does it say?
I am new to wedding photography. How much should I charge?
Nothing.
Yeah. You should do it for free.
That is a hard question. Actually.
It is. That's a question that I don't think that we can answer just like, you should be charging. You want to start?
No. Okay. I don't know. I mean, I know my very first wedding that I shot, I charged $250. Right? I mean, it was because I didn't really know what I was doing.
And it was 1987.
No, it was 1988. But no, it wasn't that far back. But you know, I didn't want to feel like I ripped the people off, because if I screwed up, I would have felt like I ripped them off.
Yeah, because people understand, if you're new to wedding photography, how difficult it is.
It's going to be one of the hardest days of your life.
Anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Yep.
Not only with your cameras, with the weather, it just goes on and on and on with families, with whatever it is. But I always say, what you really need to do is you should start investigating your area. There's no way that I can tell you, here's what it costs. Every area is going to have a different price.
Yeah, I have no idea up in Portland what.
But here's one of the best tips I will ever give you as a photographer. I think it's the best one that was ever given to me for pricing. Our good friend Sarah, who went to India with us, had taught me this.
Oh, yeah, she's got a great method.
A great method to this is you need... Number one, the pie in the sky. You need a price that no one is ever going to be willing to pay.
Way up there.
Way up there with everything that you could possibly do. Then you need a mid-range one, which is really the one you want to charge people at. And then you need a low end, which has nothing. So when people look at your pricing, they say, I want to hire you. Ooh, I really don't want that low package because I want these extra things, but I can't go all the way to here. So you get the price that you're looking for. So
shoot for the middle.
That strategy is amazing.
If you get that top one, it's even better. I've actually had that happen where sometimes people go, I'll take that one.
And that was the thing. She said last year, you know, her top tier was like $9,000, and she's like, somebody ordered it. I have to raise my price. So what a great problem to have.
Yeah. So, good question. It's a little hard to answer, but Francis,
you got to do a little homework,
Mr. or Mrs. we thank you for your question. As always, please don't hesitate to send in your questions. Just shoot them right below into the comment section, and we will have our intern Jack stuff them into a fortune cookie every single week to find out what your question is.
So we've come to the end of the show. How about a little food for thought? So
food for thought.
Tell me what your food for thought
My food
is.
For thought actually was included in part of the show, but it was just expect the unexpected. So I was traveling there and hit this massive traffic jam.
Yeah, your hour and 15-minute drive turned into almost 3 hours.
Yeah. But luckily I had planned to leave an hour earlier than I should have even, which put me right in time.
Fortunately, I was in Napa the night before and was able to text you to go bring a jacket.
Yep.
Because it's summertime. Why would I ever bring a jacket?
No, I mean, when it's California, it's always 90 degrees and beautiful.
But you always have to remember Mark Twain's the coldest winter I ever spent was the summer I spent in San Francisco. So Napa's not far away. No. So just remember
that's my thing. It's just always expect the unexpected. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, we even had a few things happen at the wedding that were kind of unexpected. People were delayed because of the traffic. The wedding party came an hour later than they were supposed to, which backed us way up.
We were an hour and a half behind shooting the bridal party simply because one bridesmaid had not shown up until 45 minutes before the wedding started.
So it made it a little tough, but you roll with it and go with that.
Yeah, and my food for thought is that if you're new to wedding photography, there's a lot of things that you will beat yourself up over. This would have been one of the weddings if I had done this 5-6 years ago. I would have just went like, oh, I don't want to do this because I missed so many shots. But guess what? We had so many incredible shots that it was unbelievable. Here's what I was thinking as I was driving down the studio today, too, because this adds right into food for thought. And I like to ramble.
I know.
I was thinking that this is the first time that Steve and I have ever shot weddings together.
Believe it or not.
I've always had a second shooter. He's had a second shooter.
Because I just don't like Mark. Yeah. And I just don't want him as my second shooter.
It was really an odd feeling to have two, what do you call us, first shooters? But it was really cool. It's kind of neat. Hopefully everybody gets to this point. Not that I've arrived at this point, but we all have big egos as photographers because we're artists, and we love our art. It's so difficult to give up things when you're doing it. But I'll tell you what, it was so neat this time because I felt like I could trust Steve. When I hire a second shooter, it's not that I don't trust them. It's just the weight of the wedding falls on me, and I'm going, it's not that I think that you're not a good shooter. It's if this goes wrong, I'd rather me be blamed than you be blamed for my, the mistake. But gosh, it was so great at this wedding. I would get to a spot where I'd go, I don't have to change my lens. Steve's got the right lens, and I'm like,
85 on.
You get to shoot it.
Yeah, too close sometimes.
Yeah, we would get in the tight spots. And you know what? You swallow your pride, and you get the job done.
And I took some good pictures.
You did. He really did. So, but yeah, it's just there's lots of food for thought. But I think that's enough rambling.
That was good. So hopefully you enjoyed today's show and got a few little tips and tricks out of it. We look forward to seeing you every single week here on Tuesday on the Panoptic Chopstick Show. And like always, go ahead and comment and subscribe if you don't subscribe already. Please hit that little bell up above. That gets you alerted every single time that we post something new on this channel. But until next week, happy shooting, and don't forget, say sushi.
We want to welcome you to our YouTube channel. That's right, the Panoptic Chopstick channel, where we are bringing fun to photography.
Hey, we want to invite you each week to join us on Tuesday, where we put out a new episode of our Panoptic Chopstick Show, where we will give you tips, tricks, interviews with photographers, we'll give you DIY projects to do on your own, and maybe even inspire you a bit.
That's right, including always a little dash of fun. So we want to invite you to go ahead and subscribe and like our channel, where you will get notified every Tuesday of brand new episodes. But welcome to the Panoptic Chopsticks channel.
Come join the fun.